सलाम मेरे अजीज पंखों।
The topmost floor of the Kim Corporation was an office of Kim Taeong. He is the CEO of the said company. He was currently sitting in his chair as he worked on some paperwork. His eyes scanned every word of the sheet and singled the paper. After an hour together and work on the file, he let out a tired sigh, letting his break hit the comfortable chair. He closed all the file and keep them aside and keep up. Table by stuck all the papers and put them aside as well. He threw his head back and rested in the position for some time. With closed eyes, he signed again and sat up straight. His gaze fell on the clock placed on the table. The clock correctly read 4:05 p.m. His lips formed into a smile, as if he come up with the idea he was going to home, to be exact. He wanted to spend some time with his maid, his favorite maid to be. Taeyoung has taken life. Recently joined Maid. John Jungkook was his name. The young maid has joined as a maid in the Kim mansion. To and course earned money by doing with his best as cleaning. Jungkook expected his boss to be sobby and 50-year-old, money-minded CEO who would be rude to his maids and take cares because his previous house had the work in hand, the set type of honor, but he did not expect his boss to be. He grew up more surprised when he observed that his master Kim Taeyoung treated him differently than other maids in the house. He did not see his master taking softly to other maids like he did to Jungkook, or the fact that he only gives Jungkook the privilege to clean his room, while no one else were allowed to enter, and many more. This of course took a toll on poor Jungkook's heart and developed a little crush on his boss. Jungkook would have to fight against thousands of girls and boys to have Taeyoung to himself, but he has no hope. He decided just admire to the older, for afar. It was what he thought to deserve. Taeyoung was no different. He is well aware that the of Jungkook is not just for the younger to be favorite maid. It is something more special, perhaps a romantic interact. Even when he is an open-minded, he could not fall in love with anyone. Until Jungkook entered his life, the boy was something else. It was love at first sight. With the time, that admiration and love only grew more. He realized that maybe Jungkook the one, and he was new on finding it out. He grabbed it and gathered his wallet and phone. As he left the office room, he walked to the elevator and patiently waiting to reach the parking lot. As he reached and go to his hour, John Jungkook was currently in Taeyoung's master bedroom. Only he is allowed and against the other maid. It was his sole responsibility to clean and his master bedroom alone. But he is not complaining because he rarely get to clean outside the door, because the other maid take care of it. So just like another day, Jungkook started dusting around the room first. There was not much for a mess as he took care of the room regularly, and Taeyoung was a tidy person. He started off by dusting over the sheets, table and chair as he was doing, wiping the whole room. Behind a now seeking clean and shining surface, he smiled proudly on his work. He grabbed his needed supplies and got all the floor to work on the cleaning the floor. He started cleaning the floor through the wooden table in order to reach the far corner to the floor and bent down. His was in the air and his torso was lying on the ground as he struggled to reach the inner edge. Just then, click on the door before he could adjust his position and direct the cleaning cloth. His very stunned. Taeyoung was standing right in front of the door entrance, eyes wide and mouth slightly open. Overall, in shocked whirl. Taeyoung was indeed shocked. It's not every day, and you find your maid bending down on the floor with all force enough for the shot to be lifted enough to expose the back. His mind was, and he did not even have the time to collect the thought. I'm sorry, master. I didn't see you there. He sneaked out scared. His cheeks were not red for embarrassment. He fiddled with the hem of the skirt, biting his lip as his head hung low. His master was not supposed to be home in another 2 hours. but it seems like early today. That surprising the younger. It's okay, no problem. I actually quite liking the sight, he continued. Now this was real, Thing speaking. His privilege blinking his face held a smirk, a flirty smirk, or he knew exactly what he is doing. What? Jungkook gaps out. The poor boy thought that he was after he heard his boss voice. What do you mean, sir? He asked this time, not starting, but still very much in confusion. You know what I mean, darling, Theung said as he walked closer. The pet name slipped. As it was common, Jungkook just blinked and blinked again. By the time he blinked the third time, Jungkook was just 2 steps ahead for him. He took a baby step back, clearly, but Theung walking toward his back come in contact with the cold wall of his boss room. He looked at his boss again to find him pressing against him. I have seen the way you're looking at me, darling. The younger one was shivering as Theung spoke those words. It seems to be affect him more than it should have. We can't really blame Jungkook as he already wanted Theung to make a move for long. He framed with his word not knowing what to say. He's tired of his shy self because he could not even proper conversation with Theung without shuddering. So he decided to suppress his shy self for once. I have seen the way you are looking at me too, Master. His tiny voice filled the room. Surprising both of them, Jungkook was dying on inside and scrolling himself of what he just did, but his facial expression still remained calm. He would rather jump out of the window and stay in the Theung direction. Theung pulled away from his neck, his pants down with confusion. Did he just at Maid boldly flirt back with him? What? Did I hear that right, Jungkook? Jungkook inhaled deeply as he brought his hand up to adjust Theung's cloth. Yes, you heard it right correctly, Jungkook said and whispered he could not look into Theung's eyes anymore. He grew shy at his own word. Yes, his shyness was never let him. Theung took notice and chuckled at the smaller male. You are so bold today. Any reason? Theung is generally curious now. His otherwise shy and soft maid is now all flirty. Not that he's complaining, but Theung didn't want to be back and he just dug in his own grave. It was long pace. It was barely a minute long. It felt like years for both Jungkook and Theung. They were trying to each other said. So they wanted to be each other for so long. It was not just one-sided desire. They finally decided to break that suffocating silence. So you mean you want this too? Theung asked with hesitation as much as he wanted to scream in excitement. He's not. Yes, Jungkook said and licking his lips. His knees were weak. He could not barely stand on his feet. The small hope of Theung liking him back was making him dizzy. It was like a dream come true. He always wanted to be older one. Now it seems like it's possible. Theung brought his hand closer to Jungkook's face and gently held the younger face in his palm. Look at him in his eyes. Are you serious, Jungkook? Theung asked, his voice soft. His eyes were only filled with caution and hope that Jungkook say yes. And Jungkook did reply with a yes. This time, he was smiling and seemed confident in his word. You have no idea how long I have waited this, they explained, almost screaming off top of his lung and how excited and happy he was. Jungkook chuckled at his boss' happiness. I love you like no one ever has. Theung whispered in his voice full with love as he leaned in. Slowly but surely the kiss gained speed. Theung swelled his tongue on Jungkook's bottom lips and opened his mouth, to which Jungkook, as their tongue entangled and his hand rolled over his other, Jungkook could taste the mint and brushed his own mouth. The wet, strong muscle exposed each other's hot mouth, and that they held to get better access. They made out of the few minutes straight. When oxygen decided to being so reason, Jungkook smiled at him. It all felt like a dream come true. He could not believe he's only kissing his boss. The Kim Theung, he's not complaining. In fact, he wanted more. Jungkook closed the space between them and kissed him again, as his lips and tongue were dancing with Theung and traveling around the Jungkook body. His right hand traveled down his waist and grabbed the of Jungkook cloth. He left his satchel on Jungkook's waist, grabbed onto it, and kissed Jungkook harder. With their lips still connected, Taeyong carried Jungkook toward the bed. Upon reach there, he let go Taeyong, who fell on the soft bed, bouncing a little. Taeyong was still as he looked at the boy lying on the bed. His maid hair was messed up, silky blonde hair spread on the white bedsheet, as his eyes were red and teary with lust. The perfect pink lips and slightly sullen and red from makeout session, and his cheeks, ear and neck were flushed red. His maid uniform had written up "They." A soft French voice invited They out to his thought. He smiled and the younger boy and leaned forward to any inches for a lay down. "You're so beautiful, Jungkook," he said, as his eyes flashed all over Jungkook's flushed face. Even screaming with adoration, Jungkook could no longer look at his boss. With his eyes, he got shy and started to bite at his own lips, looking away. Taeyong didn't like it. He brought his hand to Cook's mouth. "Can I have you, Cook? I promise. I will take good care of you." The great CEO voice had softer than ever. His hand delicately cleared his maid's cheeks. Eyes fluttered with emotion. He was careful with his word. Again, making sure to not come out forcefully, to be submissive of two. Jungkook breathed out his smile as he brought his hand to Taeyong's head and stroked his hair. "You can have me." The CEO was a man of the word, and Jungkook knew they will not hurt him. Taeyong looked up, and the previous smile turned into the smirk. "Oh, I will have you," he groaned as he wrapped his arms around the younger waist and pulled him further up to the bed until Jungkook had held the soft pillow, making the younger lay into the more comfortable position. "If you get uncomfortable, stop me, okay?" He stopped, and here and there sank his teeth and sucked the spot, creating a red and purple around his neck, making sure to leave marks. "Can I?" Taeyong asked as he pulled away from the younger neck, as he tugged on the maid uniform Jungkook was still in. "Yes." Jungkook wanted, granting the permission. Taeyong lifted Jungkook a little, as his right hand reached to the back of the dress where a zip was situated. He took on the zip and unzipped it. He could not be the happier. He chuckled lightly and glad, took the younger man's right chest in his mouth and began. His tongue was flatter and against the dog as he began to rub her with a warm tongue. He lowered his gaze again as he grabbed the waist. His breath again sped up as his lips wobbled. Taeyong's smirk finer this time, and the fluttered state of the younger. His rose of the eyebrows, like he asking permission to completely remove the set piece of cloth, to which Jungkook nodded and granted permission to his cheeks were still red. The previous bold flirty maid, with all gone. "Master," Jungkook moaned out. "That enough. Now let's get to the real deal." Taeyong held Jungkook's waist as he leaned forward to kissing the younger forehead. "If it's too much, let me know, okay?" Taeyong said with his soft voice. Soaring and submissive, Jungkook's eyes sparkled as he smiled. He nodded his head, not enough to speak of. He felt lucky. Taeyong never failed to make him fall deeper. "Here we go." Taking his time, he did it slowly and not letting Jungkook feel too much pain. Jungkook was lying down on the bed with his eyes closed, slowly getting adjusted. As he felt comfortable, he looked at Taeyong and nodded, his head too weak to speak again. It was painful for Jungkook in the start, considering it was his first time ever. His eyes stared up, but Taeyong was holding him and carried from time to time to calm him down. Jungkook held onto his boss for a dear life. As he mourned out, the pain slowly turned into a pure pleasure. With time, Jungkook gasped out a pleasure that took all over him. It was overwhelming, but it felt so good. He never felt that way before. Jungkook cursed. Later, Jungkook opened his eyes though he was sleepy and exhausted. He observed all the action Taeyoung did. He felt slight strain when he saw Jungkook walk from here. Does he regret it? Shit, Cook, he's your boss. Or if it was not good enough, all those things would keep running Jungkook's mind as he sat up and leaned down on the position. He looked visibly panicked. He's going to throw me out. Jungkook sounded very sure that it would happen. The boy was insecure. Though he fell in love with his master, he never thought the older would be like him back. The fear was always live here, and now they did something together to fear over him. His train of thoughts were interrupted by Taeyoung, who opened the bathroom door. He walked unsteadily the way toward the bed, his hand carrying him, and looked like a clock. He climbed on the bed and stood near to watching Jungkook with the winded eyes. I know what you are thinking. I'm not going to throw you out, Jungkook. They spoke, not looking at Jungkook, and now gently wiping Jungkook's body with a wet cloth. In fact, I'm planning to keep you even closer to me. This spoke up continued to sentence. Taeyoung gasped as unexpected word that Taeyoung mouthed. What does that mean? Jungkook barely questioned without any shudder. For plain confusion, he was curious about the meaning. He was also nervous. Exactly what it sounded like. I am going to keep you around. You're gonna be more than a maid to me, Taeyoung whispered as he yanked Jungkook by his waist until the younger was sitting on his lap. Jungkook gasped and shocked as his cheek were red. His eyes winded. He looked so adorable in making Taeyoung at him. Jungkook could not speak. Instead, he buried his face and told Jungkook's neck on the shyness. Taeyoung chuckled at his action. The younger was getting cuter and cuter. By the passing time, for a few minutes they stared each other, embarrassed from both thinking about the Taeyoung meant and what about their relationship hold in the future. I wanna sleep, Jungkook said, breathing the silence. His voice was soft and tender for the tightness. As you wish, Petal, Taeyoung said as he grabbed Jungkook by his hips and held him close to the bed. Taeyoung adjusted a blanket over Taeyoung. As Taeyoung hit the pillow, Jungkook wrapped his arms around his waist, rested his head to the firm biceps. Sleep well, Jungkookie. I promise to be here when you wake up. Taeyoung uttered as he closed his eyes, missing how the younger smiled adorably at him, and Jungkook grabbed his fist as they slipped into the slumber that, consumed by their tired minds and bodies,